those dirty politics. Because it's becoming, I don't do these things, but it's becoming increasingly annoying, because the same were the guys when the Galamsey issue became quite apparent and everybody was worried. We wanted people who would be bold enough to look at government in the face and say, hey, we know those who are doing the Galamsey, your people are involved, be bold enough, speak to government. They organized themselves and went to the Galamsey site for what? Because they are not witches and they are not wizards, so we're going to pray for what? Because they think their followers are ignorant, they don't know anything, and they can just use the God factor to intimidate people as if say they own a certain God, and it is through them that you see salvation. If those people can speak to God and God will listen, trust me, if you speak to God any day, He will listen to you. So that fear factor that is being used to terrorize people in this particular country, that particular thing is going to be a thing of the past, because a time will come, the citizenry will be very sensible in this particular country, and that church thing will become a thing of the past. Yes, we will continue to go to church, we will remain Christians, but we will be very sensible. Trust me, no mind being home church in UK. After Adolf Hitler could defeat or mono, their mentality a change here. Even in the UK today, if you go to church, you're on the clock checking the time because you have to go to church. I don't know if anybody in the UK can sit in the church for 7 hours a day on Sundays. Rested. You see, but people are using the church that is supposed to be a place, a sanctuary. A man for go and have interaction with your God, just think about certain things, just to pray. You know, that thing will be on a way just to pray, you know. It has become a full-time business for certain individuals, and they have arrogated to themselves an authority of a deputy God, and they think that Nyankopon is through them. They own the keys to wherever. Trust me, they don't own no key. They are just sycophants who are just feeding on the ignorance of the majority of the people. Because trust me, in this difficult time, no, you will not be living a church, and they are flipping through the Bible, giving you certain infantile justifications. So, come on, what kind of thinking is this? You see, the psyche alone, no, it's in the 11th century. That is the mentality. They've forgotten that we are climbing the 21st century ladder. We are in the 20th century. We are climbing the 21st century ladder. A lot of things are changing. A lot. These are the realities we need to appreciate. Some of us are at a hospital and as a foreigner in condition with the bar, and we know no prayers can save you, and it's a fact. So let nobody deceive you. Say through him, it's absolutely nonsense, because once you are born, you should be ready to die. That's a simple thing. So let nobody use those things to intimidate you. I mean, at the hospital, I've seen Obi already 1 year, Obi already 6 months, Obi already 15 years, Obi already 30, Obi already 50. So you see, that should be the last thing. Obi will intimidate you. You see, it is not about how long you live, it is about how well you live. And that how well isn't about money, it is about the impact that you make. After all, Christopher Yesu, he lived for just 33 years. But he lived a life so well to the sense, and then because he lived a life so well. It isn't about how long you live, it is about how well you live. So these are people who are supposed to look government in the face and tell him, say, Papa, cathedral, yes. And you see, when you talk, some of these individuals will take you to antiquity. When I say antiquity, they will take you to 9th century. And they will be using 9th century justification to justify things that are supposed to be done on the 21st century arena. Because somebody told me, France, or Notre Dame, or cathedral, US, the cathedral you see there are owned by church. And even those days in France, now those things were built by your friend is saying state, you know. The church and they rule France, for instance. The Roman Catholic at some point in time rule France. And if you don't know, one of the country Roman Catholics was also part of France, because at some point in time they were ruling it. Then came the aristocrats. Oko France, King Louis, Spain, lived by monarchs, and they were affiliated to churches and as for. So it was unusual. It was not yet unusual, yes. So we state cathedral, those sanctuary and stuff, because your banner committee or Africa has a, I think one of the countries, when the Europeans came, they converted the king and he built a church and for them. But you see, a dying. But when you have a whole president, the justifications you see, I saw dynamo Yankopon prevent civil war. Oh my God, my God. Sebi, Accra will have such a justification. For 4 else, Cote d'Ivoire, a time of mine sika. Could see cathedral, can see a part. I think that is the largest. Is it West Africa? Yes. I think Yamoussoukro, Cote d'Ivoire, about 10 years ago, elections, there was bloodbath everywhere. Some of them had to escape from that particular country and come here. It isn't about building a church or building no church. It is about what you do. They invented a computer and one question them vampire and other sort of computer free so by you. The Facebook that you see the platform, you see the state, what you're supposed to do. You say you empower your people and let the people do other things. You have to chrome high. And as I be individuals cry, look at churches or multimedia or chroma saying. There will be names, the Obafor's, the Duncan Williams, and these are individuals. Look at their churches. So what is the problem? And the president can do the same thing by taking the money from his pocket if he is really ready. Or you can even set up an account, call people to donate into it. Even you can even be a former president. Now when you feel so waiting there, you can use the money to do it. But not this crucial time. And people who are supposed to speak wisdom to the president tell him, say, my friend, no, we can do this. No. Look at them. One of such people, and your friend say, Apostle Opoku Nina, a Pentecost way, or more president than a name, no, or an idea because he's a full-time politician. It is not fair when you're leading a church. That particular church isn't a political organization. Yes, we know your political colors. You can go and join them. Go and do your politics. Leave the church. Because church now with him, there are several people in it. They are not interested in those things. So you can use the church to do politics. When you are supposed to be interceding on behalf of your people, because people in your church have their money in the bank. People in your church are buy bonds and then as a forum, so you commit government into taking sensible decisions in such a way. Say, but you are people who are ushering government. Oh yeah, yodum, and the president feels that he's doing the right thing. With that outdated mentality, that 12th century, 9th century mentality, say, Nyankopon see a sorry diamond and then as a phone. Come on, I have seen individuals at their own way. On one side of bottom seeker, see a sorry diamond Nyankopon. Not on my seeker at this crucial time. Something you can't wrap your head around it, but it's happening. Because now we're having a conversation. The conversation is that there is going to be a debt restructuring. What it means is, say, wire investment, nisika outcome, ninsanka. Ebi krano interest no benyano yes scrap it. And then the principal in such a way, be paying in such a way, say you can have access to your money to do whatever that you want to use it to do. Time now would do when we are you see, these things bring certain economic uneasiness on the people. So you don't engage in things for the more because of no who said oh cathedral and would see come on, just be honest. Just be honest. Nabisa I say a day in the busy. A day kasa ne busy. wafa misika. And I have seen a lot of the videos. Police, obviously me a police officer, my year Juma for 24 good years. Obviously me say, my year Juma say, and those of us are what the hospital, you understand some of these things, especially the hypertensive and the diabetic patient. They are on their drugs forever. You can skip 30 days in a swan, you need to come up for a refill. Sad, it's a cycle because I don't know. That is what it means. So there can be a break. They can't. They need to refill the medication cap. So if you take away the source of income, livelihood, if you take it away, that means you're committing them. Say they should die early. And this thing is not easy until so these individuals threaten to take a class action against government, you know. But I believe, sir, at this point, there are a lot of things that we need to do as people to ensure that we get ourselves out, because the equity might not be enough for us to get ourselves out of the mess, because we are rather creating a space to go and borrow the more. But the thing is, sir, what are some of the initiatives we are putting in place to ensure, sir, we successfully get ourselves out? The investment in the agri sector, do you see any? The financial sector is and not quite any idea and saboma you to asiano. So at the end of the day, you know, how do we pull this particular country back on footing? But the no, they don't even care. They are just doing what they do best. And I'm a catcher and now you can oforiata and sister-in-law, Endo oforiata, and you deputy manager, ADB. Because they are not in tune with the pain, they are not in tune with the frustration that Ghanaians are going through. They don't even understand. Say, because me will pay ma, because me are frustrated. They don't even understand. They are not even looking at it. They think it's business as usual. Come on, yes, I know. Because that particular NDC MPP usual pedestrian politics, you know, are daisied among four. So people have lost touch with their own senses and they are acting based on emotions, taking critical decisions at the behest of whatever that they think is okay for them without massive consideration. That is the point. So Kendo Foriata must first excuse himself, because I think we cry a ferry and for instance, if I'm sitting here and I'm doing video no, I'm many mame home. I know I'm interacting with people. So let's say I have over 200 people watching this particular video at this particular time, and I have 190 people writing feedback to me. Say, oh, my friend, Jao video no, Jao video no, Jao video. Na share na first day, me obabeye obiama. Second day, obabeye obiama. At the end of the day, you opt out because your intention is to engage certain individuals. But I know that if the people are not interested, they say, come on, guy, no. Out of respect. Because we're a public space, you leave support be our order, you support the other guy to come. But this is a guy who is shamelessly still hanging and masquerading, calling himself finance minister, when even a muramun no makra any trust in hope anymore. Not even the offensive bush animal cry any trust anymore. His own party people, the rank and files, parliamentarians, the only person who trust and confidence ever can for a term and you know why? Because family above everything. It doesn't matter what happens, family. So he will hold him. The Ubiaba can be a wawasem on Fahon cry. Such attitude, no, ye did hene work crassy, for more mind. That is the point I want to make. Sa tintin minti obiano, ye di a crassy hene, a hodie, one anano cocoon tokwana, okuni pabebre, and I had nisiapa canson or your hene, entino. Wababaye or henna, you decide at the behest of your emotions, whether that emotion is twisted, whether that particular emotion is born out of an informed whatever beyond. That is up to you, and your subject may have no other option than to comply. But even a necranos animal, because I had their course will be this week and last week, it tells you say even the chieftaincy institution, people are attempting to democratize it. That is why I see Bupehine Akosi Fulani is or your henna. The people rose against him, and he had no other option than to backtrack on one kotunu through. Because you are not serving yourself, you're serving people, your subjects, and their collective interest is paramount, way ahead of you, even the chief. So sometimes you listen to them, you engage them, their input, whether silly or right. Sometimes you just try to meet them halfway, serve your decision, because whatever that decision that you arrived at, you cannot implement it. You rather need them. So in arriving at that particular decision, you make sure you engage them halfway to enlist their support, enlist their commitment, enlist whatever, their energy to be able to implement it. By Hano, no. Now, unim nyansa ni abaje wadwen say yekoye E11. Unim nyansa wo hefa. But you forget say me amenim nyansa wo ye E11 we are me. Na me kwakoye momo no. Na what it? So if I decide not to do, if I decide to weave my own way, to dodge whatever, because people have a way of circumventing this particular thing, find a way to transact without committing to that particular tax. Why? Because they think that Sikano Kodi Omoha Sabin Semuno Modi Kodi, and there are enough evidence to justify that. So at the end of the day, state in Lusu, and at every point in time, be a state in Belusu, be and yet Nipa notice in Lusu, and your mind may know that, no cry more that, because in Casikani and Yayan and Commodity Bayans are there at least. Ngomba to so be used to be. When we came, some of the universities were already in play. Say, we had ourselves to it and we also benefited. And generation will come and also benefit. Sanity. That is why some of us cannot just shut up and watch these things go on. But I bet you one too many, and nobody seemed to be very reasonable enough, so we pay heed to. And it's unfortunately people who are ushering government to do all these things are suffering penny for. And now I have seen that most of them are resigning and they are going away. Me say, this is no time to be resigning. This is the time for you to confess. Because I remember when we started this particular advocacy, they told us, especially Papa no kasa ne minimum kakrakan Duncan Williams. Na mu nim nyame na mu kekan sambasa basa when I catch them so do man sika na ba be we. Then today, all of them are walking in the hall of shame. Me say any hall of fame be more. They are now walking majestically in the hall of shame in an epic fashion. They are walking in the hall of shame because in some that is not what is happening. Now today we are being told some of the decisions now you're taking they are not involved because papa na letter na ba actually, some of the decisions they are not even aware. Even when the thing was registered, some of them were not even aware. So they were just fronting, sitting in front. So we are a man of conviction. You confess and you resign. You apologize to Ghanaians. You don't just resign, you apologize because you made us believe someone found mine sick and a. That is what you told us. By a ne, Papa no catch and say, omoko abonten koye appeal for funds no mo gigi sika na omo basa omo be meeting and sika omo di do so chen appeal for funds sika omo konya na nyame nipa be nie na nyese omo yafu na mo dwene ho a. How can you go out there to Ghanaians in the diaspora, Ghanaians in America who are sweating oko na ko hu obi work scheduler o yembe show obi teburu chiro nte go so they tell you what they go through snow eto obenam akọ. They work their ass up just to get the money. You go there and you think the money is easy. They are their mama. Ya jiji says you can say bedisi katidra no mo ba. Na ya da be conference, ya da be meeting. Na ma chama mo pay diem nasa. Because I saw some of the publications. Sika mo de conference e wo kroma ye meeting. Na do so chen sika mo kwa buche kwa jeje. And this guy has confirmed it. Or your software. The software has confirmed it. So I'm not conjecturing. Neither am I supposing. It's a fact that has been confirmed confirmed by this reverend who resigned from the board, and I think he's the 4th or the 5th person to resign. Actually say, oh, it's not well, and we are not enemies of state, neither are we enemies of God. But if free say the right thing and the nyansadia must be done first. Nyankopon kran will vindicate us because he knows nyansasem na yeka. Even God knows say nsem na yeka no nyansasem na yeka. Ko Nyankopon bia ni ho a ekom de ne ma manfo de da abonten e ma o monyem da fom obi da hospital oxygen kra no ho aye de ama na Nyankopon beka say na oman na obo wo ka wa abonten wakoka kire omo se chale animguase kase wo wiase wo do ho akote se wontimi ntua wo ka. Externally, no, you are telling your domestic, your friend is saying, investors say, Charlie, never more thing, wouldn't mean to your worker, a here for just individuals be brain, I was zero mono. Now, what is as canon, quack with cathedral, Sabi, Unyansa or he, Nami who are deal with Namacoca, Semen go heaven. I'm go heaven, again, busy. Maybe I cry heaven in your never call. But this particular hypocrisy, no, ye me, I know, and a young cobia, young copon cry, or the better. Because the omoyano nyanya mi adwuma rather the no krana ye kan that is and then nyankopon adwuma because invest the money in priority areas at the end of the day no, a lot of people will benefit. Few days ago me call Legon Medical Hospital. When I got there I was so much impressed because that particular place, you know, individuals driving around going to seek medical care. And this as can senke to see cathedral and think of this amount for sorry call so omquako jaya. I didn't know young menesa. Now dear we nya software abom belt the chile. And we are the people who are supporting it. Now young cry teacher it assumes a yenimiansano. Your crying will see that everything is wrong with whatever that you're doing, and you don't see it because you are blind by money and goodies. I want Sabeka. They say when you need to wear, it's not about money, oh. It's never about money. Because if you go to some quarters, they will tell you say there is dignity in certain poverty. Dignity in certain poverty. And yes, you can yedi. Ena sikano me hu obi a wanya bia watu kosoro da. It is about the impact you make, the change Albert Miaboa ama ya make. That is what will make you. It is never about money. And you bet $1 and you bet way. And the other side, I don't want to wade into that particular thing because it's a bit way. I don't have the full fact. But if you listen to the revelations coming up recently, the honorable Okujato, Ekekai, and as a foreign individuals involved, and as a foreign, just say, Utia, and these are men of God who are supervising such a crime. I mean, in all honesty, I am telling you, sir, I am looking forward to a government that will come and assemble all these so-called men of God and put them before court and ensure, sir, whoever found culpable, including the Pentecost, your friend saying, I don't know who he is, or more president or whatever that they call it. What you deal with your Jiramuno? So after all, so you know, more sign signatures and as for now. Yeah, you have people who abet crime. These people might see the inside of a jail. Then the party between young Sao say. Because own to me first state fund it means some fun. Now we know who a man for sending me in your many pantino. We in your many pa, you should be reasonable enough to know say all is wrong or what is happening. I am looking for a government that will be so bold enough to look at these guys and tell say, because you contributed, you acted in this particular way, you are going to face prosecution. And in the end, through adjudicatory process or whatever that come out, say a basse, they should go to jail. They should go to jail. Going forward, you know, then we set the parameters. Sabi obi ade besu nyansa maka say we don't need sanya mebe na yenyine nyame microphone yemfama san samfon no ba wadwema or minor will never move forward. You need to set the ground rules. Mo bi ehun ba bi ogina ofuma, there are consequences. Yenyine nyame nipa, but we need to set the rules for ourselves. Anya sa maka say as human as we are, no, always human beings might want to take advantage of every situation. So when I say we will lay the ground rules, nani pabia who say yenina no embrano biadi. But they feel superhuman because officer nyamini pa and others are inferior. Sometimes when you engage them, opinion say, oh, now we know there. But you are not superhuman being. And you are not well informed than others who are talking. You may even be more ignorant because if you listen to some of them, the way they preach in us, they are only advertising nothing but sheer ignorance about the very Bible they hold. They are rather preaching emotions instead of the truth. They are only fortunate to have followers. That's all. I'm saying that time will come. See, I'm putting your honor and we will lose the church. Because of certain individuals decided that they will use the church as a instrument for business. Personal. They making names for ourselves. Oh, because you do any buying them, she bomb, then as a phone, and you know back on a corruption table now. The government is on the one side, and the elders of the church on the other side, and they are feasting together, enjoying. Booties never go form no, and a man for any crumbs no, and then a man for a pre home, and the leaders of the church who are supposed to sympathize with the people. And sure said they share their pain and their frustration. Today they are dining with power in the corrupt house. And I'm for no suffer because they don't care. The deception is too much. The deception and using God is a reasonable God. He will never ask anybody to go and build church in this crucial time when people now they wouldn't be you are begging people say they should just your friends say among renegotiate among terms and then as a phone that alone should tell you say something is wrong and that you need to just also your priorities, you need to reset them by cutting down the size of government. You resize it. 100 and over ministers, for the first time, let us see 50 ministers. 50. Maybe in the future, we cut it down to 20. I don't see any reason why even government, Ghana as a country, we should have more than 20 ministers. If I'm president today, I will just find a way to ensure the constitution will be amended and ensure if it's about just 20, if it is about 15, you know how to just cut the sector and then as a phone. Because the expenditure, and then we set the grand rules. Who and who constitute what? Because this new invention, the presidential, your friend is a staffers and then as a phone, and you one thing, you did a bomb minor chrono, because there is no cap on it. Any president at all can just come and appoint anybody at all, put them there and be paying them because there is an inflow of cash from the finance ministry to the presidency, and you just find boys and pay them. We don't see what they do. But people who are really committed to ensure that on a daily basis they sacrifice. I know lecturers who wake up around 4 a.m., drive through the traffic every day to get to the lecture hall to teach. I know the day they don't get anything. And we have some, your friends, a rascal ruffian guy because he's a line affiliated to Unimpanyini Bintino. Yeah, presidential staff are not sure. His entitlement is shrouded in secrecy. Nobody knows. We know they are taking fat salaries. At the end of the day, and because of corruption, we look at individuals in society, we bribe them. So they are not able to. So it is no surprise in saying nobody who are sorry and some fuachi supporting government saying when the people are suffering, because we are church panina. Your main priority is the flock. That by large, Ghanaians, the poor people, the marginalized, the sick, the well, people, the believers, non-believers, they are your flock, and you are. It is your job to ensure, flock you make sure, their pain or more frustration, you become a voice. You represent them because that is what they did. That is what you are supposed to do. Martin Luther King in America, that is, no papa, no suffer, no ankasa. The same thing was a preacher, but some point in time, he realized there must be a radical change. So from the pulpit, he got onto the street, and his tone changed. He became an icon of change. Quite recently, he was celebrated. His day, a holiday in America. That is how you make change. It's not about being in the church, fooling people, and just taking their monies from them because you think they are ignorant. So you are only harvesting their ignorance. You are just capitalizing on the fact that they are naive. You are capitalizing on the fact that they don't have hope. Because I have seen those things before. Obitimimba hospital, now hesitate your woman. Oh, and that point, Nippon can even give you everything because they've become remorseful. These are people who are sitting in the church. Because he's not thinking straight. These are people who fill the church on Sunday, and you use unyansa or in the name of God, and we don't care about we don't care about the people, we care about ourselves. So some of are buying properties in prime areas in Accra, some of them are buying properties abroad. You're back into the church, and we are demonstrating, we are telling people, say, you have 20 cars, you will say, oh, more dama. You don't even understand the concept of church. Because if you understand, you would never go to church and be telling your people, say, my toy japadiem or cars 100, a damn, because you don't even understand what you're doing. It's very embarrassing and very funny sometimes if you sit afar, fold your arms, and watch what is happening on the political arena, not just the political, social, religious, and the political arena in this particular country. You see a lot of contradiction, funny things, a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. And our media, hypocrisy, incendiary hypocrisy, we are never, because the root cause. We leave all these things. We are trying to find solution. But the thing is, if we don't deal with the solution, with the problem, the actual cause, like I said, you can't. Because we'll be about hospital now, why she see what the say for them find out what is happening. You don't know what to do. So you treat the symptoms, but when you sepsis, infections be baby. So the infection, and show that symptoms so look at your friend saying, say I want a dinner and you treat when you inflammation to no one look at the sepsis and the root cause or managing those symptoms you won't get anywhere. That is the point. So me say all the discussion going on TV and a debt restructuring and the way and your solution. They are just branches. They are just symptoms. The problem is the root why we got here. No, why we got here. No, first we need to identify the problem and excise it. I'll go for surgical intervention. That's why I tell you, sir, at this point, Ghana need surgical reconstruction. Surgical reconstruction. And no more friend, plastic surgery, surgical reconstruction to change our identity. Because that is the only way we can restore our lost glory. Until say that surgical reconstruction, and in that reconstruction, we need to excise. It's like you identify your friends, a cancerous cells in the body. In a benign stage, you excise it. You cut it. Sabaya enko spread. You excise it. But you say cancer a benign stage. We are watching. Everybody is watching. And and metastasis are taking place. And I spread and abedru stage ya spread to crucial organs akese na bi na ya asofo no organs akese na bi na ye parliamentarians no musika akokam no organs akese na bi na ye church leaders of musika akokam no nti ene they are out there crying. The first are not affected the smaller organs, You were all quiet because you thought say mama so that. So and then we are all here. Like I said, nobody is vindicated. No, because our future is at stake. The president can continue to enjoy as he continues to stand. Me say he's visibly shattered, standing in a hall of shame. Citizens, nobody celebrating. We are only taking just a sign of vindication. Say, we told you so, but you never listen. Here we are, but all is not lost. What Niama Yabayano, but let us be real. You see, let us not be that usual hypocrite now, trying to find our way out without identifying why we are here. Ya kokoko, ebesiamba back. Ya kokoko, nasi ya identify problem nene ye nyem friwa. The same reckless incompetence, the same mismanagement, the same size of government, the same microphone shares a Jubilee House or sabi in some phone or moody you or more canon as a form condition of service or BNM or Mindsika Nekono. If we don't address all these challenges, that's your mind buying $40 billion, we will come back to school.